I'd like to call the meeting in order at 6:01. Please stand for the pledge. To the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Libby. We'd just like to remind our audience that our meeting is being recorded. So please keep your private conversations to a minimum. Mr. Stegman, any presentations tonight?
No, we invited some of our new staff members to attend, and unfortunately, some were unable to. One tried to get here, had a little vehicle trouble. But we do have one gentleman here that will be hopefully, that's up to you appointed tonight, so I will make it more comments on this way that jury here.
No, feel free to do it.
Well, we have Mr. Michael Flagg here in the audience, and his friend Laura Flagg was recently hired as one of our guidance counselors, and I've already heard great things about her. You know, 1 week into school, she's already making an impact. So that's exactly what we anticipated happening. We've heard great things about what she did at Whitesboro, and we're excited about what she's going to bring to that.
Welcome. Congratulations and welcome both of you. Board of Education Subcommittee reports. Anything?
Yeah, so through the emails you saw, we will be holding our extracurricular activities subcommittee meeting in the next couple of weeks. I'll send out a Google form this week. Identify a date and time for that. And then the policy committee just met before here, so we will be bringing forward a few policies for your approval. And that is all for subcommittee reports.
I can add one. I attended School Boards Institute last evening, where we planned out the events of the calendar year. And there will be a program next Monday, which the state is facilitating to look for input regarding the revised or proposed new graduation requirements that'll be held at Middle Settlement Road. I believe it's 4 o'clock. It's an early start. And then at the end of the month, at the end of September, Mike, is it the 30th? September 30th.
That sounds.
We are hosting a legal issues workshop, and everyone is invited, school board members, public, parents. You're all welcome. And those are usually very, very worthwhile and very informative. So if you ever have an opportunity to attend, your input is always welcome and appreciated. And that's it. We're good? We're good. Superintendent's report, 5.1, opening enrollment.
Yep, so in front of you or attached in here, hopefully you see the Marie's out this week. It's been a long one. Somewhere in here, okay, here at 5. We have open enrollment numbers for the last 10 years. So I will share those with you. And again, these are numbers from September 1st.
Was there quality insurance stuff on this?
Quality insurance check. Well, these came from Brenda Coon. So I'm confident that they are accurate. And as you can see over the last few years, well, the last 4 years, we've gone down slightly, but not significantly than we want. So any questions on this? Again, this is just a standard opening enrollment report that we conduct at the beginning of every school year. I'll address to the audience. Our enrollment's at 902. Last year we were at 920 this time. So it's like
Okay.
There any grades that stand? I mean, it matters what grades that stand out over others. Or it just seems like it's all over. Like,
yeah, it just ebbs and flows. I mean, there's if you look at grade 10, that's just a huge class for whatever reason. Why?
Looks like grade 11 is interesting. We went from 77 people, 77 kids to 55.
Well, but if you actually you would need to look diagonally. You want from 77.
Right.
Oh, I'm looking at.
Because you have, so 77 to 74, because that's
Oh, I see.
11th grade last
Good
year,
point.
12th grade. this year.
Sorry.
Now, this includes all homeschool children.
I don't believe it includes homeschool children because they're not enrolled.
And I know you informed us once before, how many homeschool children do you have?
Roughly 25.
Is that number increased over recent years? Charlie, maybe.
No, I think it's decreased a little bit because I think it was higher during COVID.
So, yeah, I think it's kind of stable now. What's not included in here is the students that are enrolled full-time in BOCES. So there's about 45 kids there in programs, primarily special education. These are the kids that are in classrooms.
Special program.
Yeah, these are the kids that are in our buildings, in our 3 buildings.
So we have 25 homeschool Sequoia students, and how many of BOCES?
45.
45. And those are basically Sequoia families.
And that's why some of the reporting that was reported by the previous director of pupil officers services, those numbers were higher because they included, I think, some of those out of district placements.
The interesting one to me is the kindergarten, 57. I'd like to see that be closer to 70, I think. We're graduating 70s, bringing in classes of 57. It's not the direction we want to go.
Well, doesn't come as a surprise. We've heard it over the years.
Right, and that's not just a Sequoia Valley issue, that's across the state.
Okay, thank you.
All right, on December 12th, we will host a legislative breakfast. So last year, the superintendents attended a legislative breakfast in White's, and all our elected officials were there, and it just was a nice time for us to collaborate with them and talk about issues that were important for schools that they then carried back to the Capitol. So that we had a breakfast last year at Whitesboro, and then we had an afternoon session at Westmoreland. So this year we'll have 2 sessions again, and as I said, the breakfast is going to be held here at Sequoia Valley. So I don't have a lot of details other than the date, but as it comes near, I will certainly keep you posted, and maybe if some of you are available, it might be this opportunity for you to come here, see the other superintendents, meet your elected officials, see how the collaboration. And then finally, the website updates. We've had a couple of individuals that were allegedly applying for bus driver positions, hopefully. And they said it wasn't very easy to navigate the website to find the application. So what we've done, I reached out to Laura Hoffman, and so now there's a quick link right on the front page of the website that takes you directly to the employment page. So if individuals want to apply for positions here, we want to make it easy. So with that. And that is all I have for the superintendent report.
Thank you. Any old business Board of Education member?
I've got a couple
Sure.
of business. So last year we offered the flu shot clinic through a partnership with Upstate Family Drugs, and we are going to do that again this year. I don't have the date yet. We're looking at the last week of September. But once we confirm a date, I will let everyone know. It doesn't cost anything. You just take your insurance card and right here on campus. I had a conversation with Chief Bill Farley of the Sequoia Valley Fire Department this morning, and I sent him a copy of our district-wide safety plan. That will be hopefully approved later on tonight. But he reached out to us earlier, a couple of weeks ago, and he would like to get the chiefs of some of the other departments, Clayville, Castle, Paris Hill, Willow Vale, and himself, of course, and just to meet so that we can all review the plan and just know what procedures to follow it. If there's ever an incident that requires fire department support. Oh, I just want to thank, I think you're all aware that the school musical this year is Adam's Family. This past weekend was the first day of set building, and I was very impressed with the number of parents that came out to help with set building. So when you Mr. Decker sent out he sent out a parents' curriculum, parents involved, yeah. But regardless, there was a strong showing of parents, so that was
Good to hear
very
that.
positive. And I would just like to thank, Mr. Decker, and in addition to running the musical and helping with choreography and the lines and the dance and the music numbers, he also, a lot of people don't know, and I think I said this last year behind the scenes, he's a master carpenter, and he has some write everything out to help everyone build. I mean, there's a lot that goes into building the set design. So I give him props, no pun intended, for all the work he does there. But also, I just wanted you to know too, because Mr. Sacco on the weekend brought it to our attention that the PA system was down. And so Mr. Decker went up there yesterday morning to look and he fixed it within a couple of minutes. So we appreciated this support.
He is a man of many talents and we're lucky to have him.
So I just wanted to thank you for that. And that is all I have for both this.
Okay. We will move on to new business. And we will be seeking your approval for items 7.1 through 7.10. And we'll move on from there. 7.1 is looking for the approval of an appointment of a teacher aide. 7.2 is looking for the approval of an appointment of an office specialist level 1. 7.3 is looking for the approval of an additional athletic appointment. 7.4 is looking for the approval of an appointment for a substitute teacher. 7.5 is looking for the approval of our safety district plan. Should say district safety plan. 7.6 is looking for the approval of the appointment of our new high school principal. 7.7 is looking for the approval of our treasurer's report dated August 31st, 2024. 7.8 is looking for the approval of a resolution authorizing payment of our bills as approved by the claims auditor. 7.9 is looking for the approval of our minutes of August 27th, 2024. 7.10 is looking for the approval of Committee on Special Education and the Committee on Preschool Special Education recommendation. Does anyone have any questions or concerns?
I just have a couple of comments. 7.1, I think we're lucky to have Andrew Reben, not only as a bus driver, but now in this role. He provides the routes during the middle of the day, and he's just a great addition to our staff. He's always very positive, optimistic and positive, and you see a lot of the drivers here tonight, I think, are supporting his place. That's why we got you here, right? So that's great to see. And then on 7.6, appointment of high school principal, as I mentioned earlier, Michael Flag is here. A lot of staff remember him from his work earlier, and I told him honestly, I remember when my wife worked in elementary school years ago, she raved about him, and of course, I never knew who he was. Going through the process, we asked as many people as we can about these candidates to get as much feedback and input as we can, and I have not heard one negative thing said about Michael Flag, because I dig. I just couldn't find people confident that they're making a good choice, and have said everything, all the input, feedback, reference checks have been outstanding, so I think we're very fortunate to have him for our staff. So.
Welcome again.
Thank you, speak. Is that all right? Say thank you.
How about we wait to
You gotta
public
vote first.
participation?
Oh, okay. Very good.
That way we treat everyone fairly. If not, I need a motion to approve 7.1 through 7.10. Mr. Sacco, second. Mr. Curtelli, any discussion? All in favor? Motions all pass. Now, we'll move on to miscellaneous topic.
So
Yes,
how
Mr.
can we take a look at dealing with the next breakdown of the PA system? So I'm glad he was there to fix it. But that's like a technique system I had in 92, that system. Can there be a fundraising thing through boosters or through somewhere we can get at least an approved receiver? And that's an old school.
Yeah, so I will tell you that Doug Jones has informed me that's an old system and it does need to be replaced very soon. You turn the volume down. It was unplugged. That was the problem. There was some ports.
Today, bro.
Come on.
It was just a look.
It's someone's talking. A lot of times.
Yeah, it's an antiquated system. We know that, and it will be. It's just repaired or probably replaced very soon.
Yeah, I think it's part of our subcommittee for extracurricular, we need to look at that, anything in the high school gym, any of the gyms, right? The scoreboards are new, but anything with the baseball scoreboard, I don't think that works. There's a lot to look at.
Soup to nuts.
We've got a good committee, a good knowledgeable committee, and we look forward to hearing back from you guys. Thank you. Any other miscellaneous items?
I've got something.
Yes,
I just
Mrs.
wanted to
Collins.
say our grounds look wonderful. Bringing Abby back for, the first day of school last week, it looks fantastic. So kudos to, the grounds and the staff for making it look amazing. And also, I'm biased because Abby plays tennis, but those tennis courts are gorgeous. Even she noticed, we pulled up to the middle school. She looks over and she goes, Mom, did you see the tennis courts? I mean, they just look fantastic. So they really did a great job. So I'm sure the kids are gonna be very excited to play on those new courts.
Well, Mr. Cullen was instrumental in picking up the colors. So.
Well, that first, I remember when Hannah Benny played tennis, that first court had a really large dip, and then when it would rain, it would pool, and then they were used, and it was older, but it really does, it just looks fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they have a match. They started at 4 today. It was nice to see all 5 courts.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you.
And no shortage of spirit here across the buildings. I mean, it totally
Yeah,
looks
signs and,
different, the
yeah.
signage and the paint and the colors, like everything just, there's a lot more school spirit. than we could say.
And I can't remember if we had a board meeting after, if it was just an email amongst us, but, Colin Luzak, the talk that she did in elementary school is amazing. That's really cool.
And
It's
the
the Red
teacher-
Hawk. A lot of people are just getting behind the Red Hawk. Putnam carries a kettle of Red Hawks. with them.
Oh. But, she did a great job, so I can't remember if that was just in an email or if that was in a board meeting, but she did a great.
Do we have a way from an athletic standpoint to look at results? I know that, Schedule Galaxy has the schedule, but it's sometimes very difficult to know scores of games. There's all kinds of different websites that I don't know if we report to, we don't report to.
Yeah.
I'd love for the community just to be able to look at how are we doing, across the board and everything.
We used to back in the day, be able to put out the
High
SG
school-
the next day
High
in
school sports,
paper and print, but.
Syracuse.com.
Right.
But why?
We have to report, the coaches have to report that, and sometimes they don't,
Well, maybe we'll ask that in our extracurricular activities. Maybe that's something that we can, it'd be nice if we populate that on the website, but I didn't want to find those results.
Well, imagine a student who's interested in sports in some way.
Sports writing.
Sports writing, whatever. Imagine them announcing
Yeah.
games or having
Maybe.
students come
There you
over
go.
and sing the national anthem instead of waiting for the year. But anyway.
Who's the thought?
I have one item, last night, the Sequoia Foundation approved, $1,200 to be awarded to the Clayville Fire Department, who will be providing fire prevention activities for the school district. I believe it's predominantly the elementary school. Mr. Madden, do they come into the middle school?
No.
No, so it'll be exclusively to the, elementary school, and you were given $1,200. Actually, you were given $1,200. Did they give you your check?
No, they don't. They don't trust me. But on that same note, when I talked to Chief Farley this morning, he asked about the group efforts here, and I told him that we just talked about it last time. We wanted to get those departments in here to talk about them.
Wonderful.
And yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they detail, well, one of the members stated her daughter gets a free ride through MB by being a
Yes.
firefighter, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, there's some.
It's all
Yes,
fire.
benefits.
Yeah.
Thank you for-
Okay, now we will move into public to be heard.
Yeah.
Please understand that Board of Education members will not rebuttal your comments. We're willing to listen, and we extend at least a 5-minute interval to you for any comments you'd like to make. Please don't expect a rebuttal. Take everything into consideration. We will discuss it further in executive session if we need to. Mr. Butler.
Well, first, I just on some new staff members, but I want to welcome Mr. Flagg to the administration unit and to the district. I know I hired Mike the first time. The committee, again, it was unanimous. We really thought he did a great job. And I know when he was working here prior, he was excellent. We were sad to see him go, but now we are so happy to get him back. He's going to do a wonderful job in the high school, and we're very excited to work with those kids. So That's my first one. And then I know Mr. Staten said, some of our new staff were not here. Mr. DePerno was here, but he had to leave his car running because it's not starting all the time. So he apologizes. He was here after coaching, with it, but I just want to speak on behalf of, Mr. DePerno, who is in the elementary school. I actually had him in fourth grade. That's when I know I'm getting older. But he's been a wonderful addition, already coaching, wants to coach in the spring as well, with that, but he's been a great addition. He did his student teaching at Sequoia. Very familiar, with the staff and the students, already knowing the kids' names. You can tell he wants to be a Sequoia, in this community for a long, long time. And then Miss Caitlin Flint, she is from Oswego University. She is teaching special ed and resource to our K-4 students. She is off to an excellent start again, glowing recommendations from the committee and from her previous experiences. So we're very lucky, especially special ed, if you know, is a really hard area to find high quality and effective teachers. We're very lucky that we got her. So those are my two new staff members in the elementary school. So thank you.
I'd just like to piggyback on that very quickly, talk about Nathan DePerno. You know, he's been going to a lot of the varsity's soccer practices and other games. And I asked him why, and he said, because he's going to coach bonafide soccer this year, but he's picking up every bit of information he can from the new coach, Devin Klein. I mean, he's, you know, really immersing himself in that. So kudos to him for the time and effort. And then, yeah, Caitlin Flint. It would take me two hands to count the number of times I saw her this summer. She was coming in all the time, really on herself in that classroom, getting a lot of prep work done there. So she's clearly invested in her classroom. So thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Med?
I'd just like to echo what Mr. Putnam said about Mr. Flagg. Looking forward to working with him. Very happy that he's on board, joining our team, and I know he'll do great things. I remember when he was at elementary school, just seeing all the kids just kind of flock around him. Very positive. He's going to bring great energy to the school. But I also want to speak about the two new hires that we have in our building. You see Laura Flagg here, former student. So both of our hires, Jen McCarthy and Laura, were both former students, Sequoia, graduates of Sequoia. So it's kind of neat that we're bringing, people back into our school that went to school here, and she's been great. She's jumped right in and been real positive and meeting all the kids and, making sure she's highly visible and seeing kids on our caseload. So I'm really, really excited to have her on board and seeing all the great things she does, not just in our school, but all the other schools. And then Jen McCarthy, just jumped right in. She's super positive too, and the kids seem to really like her. And she is very fluent in Spanish. She's learning French as she goes. So, but she's a smart individual. So I think the kids are really lucky to have her. She's experienced. So.
Mr. Reed?
Yeah, I'll jump in for the high school, and certainly I'll echo my colleagues' remarks. Mr. Flagg, we're thrilled. He's going to be a great addition. We're really excited to get started with him. So at the high school, we've got 3 staff members that we're welcoming. We're really fortunate to be welcoming Kathleen Streeter. She's going to be teaching 9th grade and 10th grade English language arts. So she comes to us from City Boasties, where she taught in ELA and special education settings. So that experience, I think, is really going to serve that role well. She'll be able to really diversify her instruction, but she's off to a great start, really developing a good relationship with the students already. So glad to have her. We have Paul Baker, who is a long-term substitute for Spanish for us. He's with us through December. Paul comes to us with a lot of experience. He's got over 10 years experience teaching in inner city Cleveland, teaching Spanish, and also he's taught more locally as well. So he's in his classroom as well today, and he's just really student-centered activities, off to a great start. So excited to have Paul, and we have Devin Clive, who many of you know. He's talk about a Sequoia guy. He's certainly a Sequoia guy. He's teaching algebra, pre-algebra, and applied math. He's also our boys varsity soccer coach. So he's certainly well invested in the community and well integrated. We're really excited to have him join us as well. So really 3 people we're really fortunate to have. We're going to do great assets to our community and support our students really well. We're really excited to bring them forward.
Just one final note, talk about new staff. We have, not new staff, but staff in new roles. We have Noelle Arcuri, who has just been, again, every feedback that I've heard about her in the new role has been very positive. So she's been doing very well, and we're excited that she's in this role. And, while Mr. Reed hasn't been able to do a whole lot yet as the director of instructional services, because he's, managing the high school. I will say though, so many of his staff are as excited as they are to see Mr. Flagg, they're disappointed to see Mr. Reed go, and I keep assuring them,
Students.
he's still in the district, you'll still see him all the time. But one staff member told me today that if he had left, she probably would have, we've been looking for a new staff member in her position too, so that really speaks to the caliber of work that he's doing and the dedication that his staff have for him, and I'm sure they will. I just think we're so fortunate with the staff that we have here in Point Valley. It's just a benefit to our students, and I think we see that when the assessment results come out. As much as we love assessments and read these exams, but students do well academically because of the staff that we have here. So thank you, board, for supporting all our initiatives.
It's our honor. Do we have anyone else? Yes.
Is it okay now? I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity. I think it speaks volumes just listening to the meeting, all of the people that come back, and the investment of students and how connected they are, how many of our staff members are former, Red Hawks, right? And they come back and that tells you about the community. So I live in this community. I live less than a mile down the road. My kids go to school here, that's by choice, right? There's something special about Sequoia. So I recognize that. And I think that the team that I'm joining, I couldn't be in a better position because I know just the caliber of people that we're working with. And it's very clear, even in this short time, that there's nothing but support and there's a focus on how we can help all of our students, all of our kids, and the community as a whole thrive. So I'm just very grateful for the opportunity to be a part of that. I can't wait to get started.
And I'll tell you, in conducting reference checks on Mr. Flagg, one lady I talked to, she was almost in tears, saying that she was that upset that he was leaving because he was not just a great leader, but a great friend. She said, "I will continue to rely on him as a friend when I need something." So, he's leaving a big hole in Rome, and Ms. Flagg, she posted a picture on Facebook last week about I'm in my new home, and just the responses from everyone that used to work with her, overwhelming. You're our being minister. So they left a couple of big holes, but they've filled them. I won't say holes here, but they're some great things there.
Well, we're certainly happy to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
There is something I will never forget, and I want to be honest and tell you. You were late for the interview.
Yeah.
And Mr. Staten came into the room and informed us that you were running late and that you had a pressing issue in your building. And that made a lasting impression with me because you didn't walk away from an upset child or a frustrated staff member that needed your support. You jeopardized a career-changing interview to support that child or that staff member, Michael, and I will never forget that. That's a tremendous honor to you, and for those of us in our room, we heard that and we talked about that, and that was a very touching moment of what you had to do. I don't know what the issue was, but you supported a child in need, the second day school, or a staff member in need that needed your support, and something that was very touching to us.
Thank you, sir. Kids first.
All right, we don't want to give him too big of a head. So. Anyone else? I was anticipating further discussion, but we're not going to have one. Okay. Need a motion to go into executive session? Mrs. Familia, second. Kuzer, all in favor? Thank you. We'll go into executive session.